Hey everybody, a quick blog update on this Tuesday. Nice and quiet once again today. High pressure still in control of our weather. We will see that high begin to slip more and more to the south and east, allowing this boundary to our north to work its way from the north. But keep in mind, we still have a lot of dry air in place, so it's going to take a while to get everything to moisten up for a lot of that activity to make it all the way into our area, but it likely will. Here's the RPM model, which has a decent handle on the trends here for this afternoon. Now, granted, we're going to have to make a big jump here in highs. I mean, we got down to, I believe, about 61 this morning here in Louisville. So to get to our forecast high of 90, I mean, that's a good 30-degree climb this afternoon. Now, with dry air, you can do that. And it is dry. Now, whether or not we'll get all the way to that threshold or not, it's going to be a little tough because we did drop quite a bit because of that dry air this morning. But we'll see how it plays out this afternoon. But in general, near 90. Tonight, slightly warmer than this morning, in the 60s. And then tomorrow that boundary begins to approach. Now we have another chance to make it to 90 because I still think we're not going to have a lot of moisture to really slow the thermometer down. Keep in mind, humid air, moist air, it heats and cools slower. Dry air, the opposite, much more dramatic. So tomorrow with the humidity increasing but not oppressively, we still have a chance to get that thermometer up there, close to 90 before the clouds and the thunderstorms begin to pop. But again, because there is not a lot of moisture, it also means the amount of thunderstorm activity on the radar along the front is going to be very sparse. It's going to struggle to get going. So that potential is there, but it's not going to be a widespread event. Now, at the moment, we got rain chance at 20%. I think you could probably argue for about 30% for maybe Indiana. We'll fine-tune it as we get closer. Not a huge deal. Just know there's a chance. And then as we head into the evening time period, whatever moisture we have, whatever push we have from the front, because the front's falling apart as it moves south, is moving into an area of Kentucky by the evening where the sun angle is already dropping as the sun's setting, so you're already losing that energy that it would have from the sun. So it's got a lot of negatives against it to where a lot of activity just kind of fades out. Not a big deal. We will monitor it. Could see if we clear out some fog. Areas that do get rain tomorrow may have a fog issue for Thursday morning's commute. We will see how that plays out. All right, so let's get into Friday and into the weekend. First off, Thursday, I mentioned the fog. I really don't think there's going to be a huge difference in Thursday compared to what we're going to have with this front coming in tomorrow, by the way. So I'm only going to drop the temperature just a couple degrees. I don't think it's just nothing dramatic really is going to happen. Whatever boundary we have in the area that comes through here tomorrow is going to go back north as a warm front on Friday. But the same problem remains where a lot of the moisture is found, mainly where it can pull up ahead of the front. So the rain activity on Friday looks very sparse again, mainly west of 65. But as we need the overnight period, we should see it begin to ramp up as we head into Indiana and southern Illinois, that will move in here toward morning. It will likely fade a bit and then re-energize itself, if you will, as we head into the afternoon. Now, anytime we have rain bands that move in, lose their punch, shrink in size and in coverage on radar, and then re-blossom again, anytime we have that happening at the same time the whole thing's moving through our area, there's going to be people left out. So it makes timing of rainfall challenging, because what if you're on one end of the viewing area where it's fading out, when it fades back up again, it's already past you. You didn't get much rain. Versus those of you maybe to the east of 65, you get the flare-up in the afternoon. You get quite a bit of rain. So that's where it's going to be a challenge here to determine how we're going to play out the viewing area. We just got to figure out how this is going to play out with the front and the rain chance. But right now it does look like a chance early, easing, and then picking back up again in the afternoon. This does not look to be a situation, though, like last weekend we had quite a bit of sun for a while. We heated things up. And the front wasn't overly strong, but with that max amount of heating that was going on with that front, we got some nasty thunderstorms that came through here last Saturday. Don't see as much heating here. Seems to be a lot of cloud cover. So temperatures will be held down a bit, and also there's not going to be as much thunder and lightning. There'll be some cases of that, but mostly just showers. So I know we got home games in Louisville and Lexington, so stay tuned for updates on that. Now the front will become stationary, stall itself out. Southern Kentucky, still a few clouds and showers around. Even on Sunday, I think our southern counties most at risk for raindrops, but the rest of us will be battling the cloud cover. The more north you are, Seymour, you have a better chance to get some sunshine on Sunday and even into Monday. Rain totals, again, this is considering the rainfall potential tomorrow and as we head into Saturday. Generally about a half inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch as a grand total, but you can tell it's at this point we're not looking at a whole lot of rain. We'll be able to fine-tune those totals later. All right, so let's look ahead. Next week, or I should say, the weekend. Again, here's the GFS, here's the Euro, and here's the Canadian. The operational runs that change every few hours. And these are the ensembles of each one of those models, which are the ones you really should look at, especially in the longer term, to kind of get a better idea of how things are trending. Because these models up here, these versions of those models, are much more dynamic and they change quite a bit. So, by looking at this, you can see a lot of problems here with that low pressure being cut off in the southwest corner of the United States. But we got a good agreement here, that front moving through our area on Saturday. Now, as we head into Tuesday, here's where we got problems when it comes to issues with this little low, because the front stalled out that comes through here this weekend. GFS and Euro both, and even Canadian for that matter, tried to develop a low along that front that'll track northeast along it. The speed of that low is differing. If you look at the operational runs, the Euro brings it in here about Tuesday. The Euro holds it back. It's waiting for it. It really isn't going to bring it in here until later next week. The ensembles on the GFS at least somewhat match it, but in the Euro and the Canadian, they show the stall front boundary being in our general vicinity. So we got some question marks here. We got to figure out when this little wave is going to pass through. So low confidence on next week on the rain chance. Depends on when that little ripple will ride up along that front. Then as we head toward the first full day of autumn, we are, which is going to be on the 23rd, will be the first full day. Notice the problem here. Look at the GFS. Look at the GFS as an example. The ensembles here of the GFS, Euro, and the Canadian all show a troughiness or cooler than average pattern, perhaps rain in our area as we headed to that period of time. While the operational run still showing that much more deeper trough in the area. So we're going to go smooth that idea right now, which means either at or below average, which will put us 70s and 80s, maybe some rain chances to contend with. But look at the end of the month, the last day of the month. Or heading toward the last day, I should say. Just look at the GFS and why we have to look at ensembles. It shows a trough in our area, so does the Euro, so does the Canadian. But look at the operational run of the GFS. It shows a ridge, heat period, a warming period, troughiness in the west coast. So already the GFS is already having problems. So at this point, we're going to go with either at or below average temperatures for the end of the month. I think we're going to see a lot of these up and downs like we've been dealing with so far this month. I think we'll see more of that. Real quick, I will say the long-range Euro, I cannot post that image or show it to you, but I did look at it. It did signify that we will see this up and down pattern until about mid to late October, perhaps close to Halloween. And then it shows the bottom falling out across the nation's heartland. Now, whether or not it's going to come in our area or not, I can't tell you that. But it does show a first warning shot, if you will, of the dramatic change of seasons, perhaps getting close to Halloween. We have had some dynamic weather in October the past several years, so could we see it again this year? Who knows? I'm only mentioning this because my winter forecast does not begin until November as far as the outlook itself, because I'm issuing it on Halloween night. So I'll keep an eye on that trend in October, and we'll see how that plays out. That's it for now, guys. Enjoy the beautiful weather today.